Good morning, and welcome to our Sunday service. Please join me in body and in spirit by standing if you are able. We are going to be singing hymn number 203, All Creatures of the Earth and Sky. All creatures of the earth and sky, come, Lindred, lift your voices high. Clouds that sail in heaven along. Alleluia, alleluia. Fair rising morn in praise rejoice. Thy stars of heaven find a voice. Alleluia, 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 alleluia. Cool flowing water, pure and clear, make music for all life to hear. Alleluia, alleluia. Dance, flame of fire so strong and bright, and bless us with your warmth and light. Alleluia, 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 alleluia. Embracing earth you day by day, bring forth your blessings on our way. Alleluia, alleluia. All herbs and fruits that richly grow, let them the glory also show. Alleluia, 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 alleluia.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You heard me, right? You didn't hear that? It was good morning. That's all. Just good morning. So you say it to me now. Good morning. All right. Thank you. And welcome to our Sunday service. I am Roger Jones and I'm very happy to serve as one of the ministers here at UUSS. Whether you're with us on Zoom or whether you're here in person, we are glad you're here. We invite you to explore the ways that we live out our mission here. It says, we come together to deepen our lives and be a force for healing in the world. Toward this end, we honor the Nishanan, Southern Maidu, and Miwok peoples for their commitment to this land where UUSS exists. They have never left nor ceased to care for this land. If you're new to UUSS, we extend a special welcome and we invite you to fill out a newcomer's card, either using the link on our website or at the welcome table after the service. We can connect with you that way. We're glad you're here with us. If you'd like to know what the title of my sermon is or what the musical selections are or follow other parts of the service, the order of service is on the back table if you didn't get one when you came in. And you can click the link in the chat and if you're on Zoom. The Blue Sheet Weekly Calendar of Activities is also on the back table and online. Who has one? Raise it for your extra credit. Yes, very good. In July and August, we send out a weekly message by email every other week, and the next one will come out this coming Friday with a thoughtful reflection by one of the ministers, but not me. You may find it, although that's because I'll be on vacation, that's all. You may find it you may find the weekly message on the ministers section of our website. Next Sunday has a few important things going on. The people on Zoom miss so much from the service. They're so lucky. So a few important things from the blue sheet. The monthly newcomer orientation with a tour of the campus takes place on the second Sunday, which is next Sunday. It lasts about an hour. All are welcome, and you can meet after the service, grab your coffee, and head to the welcome table about 10 minutes after the service. Childcare will be provided if you need it. Next Sunday is also the day when art and architecture historian and UUSS member Maria Chorba will give another talk in her series on sacred spaces. And this time it's about Islamic architecture illustrated by slides. Maria, would you rise so we know who you are? And Maria's talk will start at noon over in the Faz room next Sunday with a few snacks hosted by the Adult Enrichment Committee. It's free, although voluntary donations are welcome, and Maria welcomes all ages to her talk. Today, after the service, if you're on Zoom, we have 22 minutes of conversation in smaller breakout rooms. And here on campus, you can check out the connections table in the welcome hall. You can enjoy refreshments and fellowship on the covered patio. And if the weather's not hot enough for you, there is coffee and tea, but there's also some cool water plus refreshing conversation. If the past several days of political turmoil and uncertainty have brought you down, you're not alone. And if you would like to put your energies together with others toward the November election, you can consider helping out. One avenue is called UU the Vote. It's a nonpartisan campaign to encourage people to register and vote in states beyond this one. Reverend Lucy is looking for volunteer coordinators and other volunteers for UU the Vote, so please look for her article in the blue sheet. Now, please turn off your cell phone to ensure it will be silent and that all alarms are off on watches too. And we do this to assist everyone to be more present and mindful. Of course, if a neighbor's phone goes off in the service, kindly offer to help them take care of it. This is one of the ways we try to be a kind and caring community. During the music for centering, you're invited to come up to this table on my left and fill out a prayer card to let the ministers know your news, and you can also indicate whether or not you'd like your news to be included in the pastoral prayer. We do this on the first Sunday of each month. And whether or not you write a card, you may come forward to light a candle of joy, sorrow, concern, or gratitude now at the table. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Dawn Huebner, one of your worship associates. Our chalice later today is Annette Orea, one of our UUSS Mercy Peddlers, who provides practical help to unhoused people in the larger community and shows respect for our shared humanity. Annette will light the flame after a responsive reading, which includes words from the newly adopted Statement of Unitarian Universalist Values. Please read the words in bold. On this new morning, we open our senses to the beauty of this world, and we open our hearts to the gift of a new day. As Unitarian Universalists, we honor the interdependent web of all existence. With reverence for the great web of life, and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. We draw inspiration from a religious heritage of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. We covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all can thrive. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. As we prepare to kindle the chalice, the symbol of our open faith, let us speak together the words of our mission as a congregation. We come together to deepen our lives and be a force for healing in the world.
And with that, we are going to be singing out our children for our summer religious education program. So sing with me. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your hearts. Lift up your hearts. Don't you despair. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. Look up ahead. The path is there. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
This is a caring community, and we reflect this in our sharing of joys and sorrows, hopes and prayers. If you have news for a future Sunday, you can let the ministers know by clicking the link in the Joys and Sorrows section of the Friday email message, or you can contact us directly. First, a number of sorrows. We extend our condolences to the Reverend Lucy Bunch on the loss of her father. Brian Bunch died peacefully with his family around him on Thursday the 4th in Fresno. He was 1 month shy of his 99th birthday. Lucy described his remarkable and long life in her sermon last month on Father's Day. Also, our member Carl Sweet has passed away. He died Monday night at the age of 91. Carl was a member of this congregation for 50 years. We extend our condolences to his friends and his life partner, Susan Blacksher, and his son, Eric. We will hold a memorial service and reception for Carl on Tuesday, July 30 at 11 o'clock in the morning here at UUSS. Our member, Christy Brazil, shares the news of a great loss. of her friend and a legendary activist in Sacramento's LGBTQ community, Linda Berner. She passed away on Wednesday at age 75. In 1978, Linda founded a gay newspaper in order to defeat the Briggs Initiative. Proposition 6 would have banned lesbians and gays from working in public schools. The paper was named Mom, Guess What? And it was published here for 30 years. An icon in Sacramento, she was known and respected around the state and around the country. Linda Berner's journalistic and community-building accomplishments and her courageous activism are a great legacy for us, and she will be deeply missed. Isabel writes, "My father, Moses Johnson, passed away last month after a long battle with cancer. He was 66. One of us is holding in the light Taylor Lewis, Catherine O'Brien, and Anthony Montanino. Two of us say they're saying goodbye to Grandma's dog, Bodie, today. He is a good, sweet boy. He has loved and cared for us so well, and we will miss him. Gina says, I want to send out spiritual words of comfort and strength to my brother, Ed, who is struggling. One among us is praying for calm amidst uncertain times and the ability to turn off the anxiety monster in my brain and be present. And fortunately, we have many joys among us. One says, I am going to a sleepaway camp for band. I play clarinet. I'm going for a week and I'm leaving today. Jorge gives thanks for the lovely time and camaraderie at Camp Norga last weekend in the community of my fellow UUs. Patricia is thankful for the experience of an intensive writing residency in the cooler weather of Oregon and a quick recovery from COVID at the end of the residency. Michael writes of the joy that my father had successful brain surgery to treat his Parkinson's symptoms. Terry writes, my son and 2 grandkids were here from Portland, Oregon. We had a great time. We used 2 friends' pools to stay cool and saw great fireworks. I'm glad they got home safely. Patricia is happy for my friend Steph's first art show today at Women's Wisdom Art. And Jim writes, after a 7.5-year estrangement, my brother and his daughter have been reunited. Sylvia writes, the joy. My oldest sister, Rosemary, has completed radiation chemotherapy with positive signs of elimination of throat cancer. In hopes and wishes, Gary wishes safe travels to all summer wayfarers. And Carl has a prayer of hope for healing and courage for dear friend Lois, recovering from surgery. As we prepare for a time of meditation and prayer. Please come into an awareness of your body wherever you are, whether you're seated or reclining or standing. Come into an awareness. And relax your eyes, whether open or closed. Relax your shoulders, your neck, as you breathe. Notice the flow of your breathing in and out at its own pace. And after I speak these words of prayer, we will share a time of silent contemplation. O breath of life, whom we feel in the rising of an in-breath, enliven us for the gift of this day. Bless all those whom we are holding in our hearts at this time. O Spirit of love, whom we know by countless demonstrations of courage and compassion, be with us now and in the days to come. Help us to share strength and encouragement with one another. Remind us of what we know to be true, that each of us has the power to practice patience, to show kindness, to nourish peace. Renew our connections to all members of the human family and to all beings who share this planet with us. And may all be well. May all be safe and peaceful. May our days be blessed with gratitude for all good gifts. So may it be. Blessed be, and amen. And now let us share a time of silence. Blessed be.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I
I hope you'll indulge me if I take a moment to read an excerpt from the description of today's service. Delegates to the UUA General Assembly recently voted on a significant historic revision of the self-description of our UU movement. But what really has changed? There was something about the phrase historic revision of self-description that jumped out at me. It made me think of my own seismic shifts in identity and the extent to which they did or didn't change me. When I was 24, I married Jim. You might guess from his name that he was a man, and you'd be right. As a young person, I simply assumed I was straight. Why wouldn't I be? Everyone around me was, or so it seemed. Our marriage was fine, like many marriages, except about 20 years in, I became aware of what Al Gore would call an inconvenient truth. I was attracted to women. But I had this whole life, a husband, a home, a child, a career, and to make matters more complicated, Jim got sick. I loved him, and I felt committed to him, so I decided to stay until he died, which he did 13 years later. And suddenly, I was a widow, an identity foisted on me not by choice, but by circumstance. Anyone who has been widowed can tell you it stinks. No matter the circumstances, it's just so hard. And yet, after I made my way through the pea soup of fresh grief, after I mourned and cried more than it seemed humanly possible to cry, I realized something. This was also an opportunity, the chance to make a historic revision in self-description. So I did. I dug out that long-buried attraction to women and acted on it. Fast forward, my marriage to Lisa, who then identified as a trans woman. A haircut that pretty much screams, "I'm a rainbow human." A new identity. And yet, what really had changed? Is it fair to say everything and nothing? I think a lot of change is like that. We find ourselves swimming in the sea of something new, whether by choice or by circumstance. The new thing redefines us. We're suddenly a parent, a disabled person, a widow. The things that make those words true do inform who we are. And yet, who we really are, like at our core, I would argue that that remains the same. When I stepped across the sexuality aisle, there wasn't anything that changed about me fundamentally. I was still me, only somehow more genuine, more centered, more alive. I wonder if it's like that for us as UUs. We're still us, committed to the core principles, even though they've changed in form. New labels and an organic, flower-like shape rather than a list, but still centered in love, as they've always been, as we've always been, even when, perhaps, we weren't quite as clear about that as we are now.
Sunday, July 7th, 2024. This is a reading by Chris Moore from the June issue of the Sun magazine and a selection of readers' contributions on the writing prompt or topic of shaving. Moore is an inmate at San Quentin State Prison in Marin County. He writes, "The incarcerated man had an unkept afro and a long, ragged beard. All he wanted was a haircut and a shave so he could look presentable before a judge the next day. Yet none of the prison barbers would touch him because he couldn't afford to pay. 'I'll cut your hair,' I said, violating the prison rule of minding your own business. I spent the next 3 hours trimming his hair and shaving his beard with a razor blade attached to a plastic comb. I had no experience as a barber, but I was determined to humanize this man. To the judge, to himself, and to the barbers who had dismissed him. My childhood experience in foster care and my prison sentence had taught me how it felt to be written off. When I was done, he shook my hand and expressed gratitude. I was blessed to get a glimpse of a part of me I hadn't realized was there, the kind of compassionate and courageous man I wanted to become. I've been cutting hair and shaving beards for free ever since that day 14 years ago. Every shave comes with a conversation that draws me deeper into our shared humanity. Every haircut stirs within me an ever-growing sense of remorse for the harm I once caused other people, who I now see were just like me."
Generosity is a spiritual practice. Each Sunday, we take up a collection which we share with one of our community partners. And the community partner for the month of July is Mercy Peddlers. One of my jobs as a worship associate is to print out a description of the community partner and read it to you. And that's a job I forgot to do this week. So you will hear about Mercy Peddlers in more detail each of the next 3 Sundays of this month. For now, please know that Mercy Peddlers are an organization. We have many members within our congregation. They're an organization that reaches out to unhoused people in our community, treats them with dignity and respect, and gives them some of the essentials that they need to make their lives a little more bearable, a little more comfortable, even though they're living in very difficult ways. So we hope that you will give generously to UUSS and our community partner, Mercy Peddlers. As our ushers bring forward the baskets, please join in our spoken words. May generosity bless our world, and may gratitude nourish our spirits.
Thank you, Irina, and thank you, Dawn. And thanks to worship associates Courtney and Andy for playing extra roles today. In a sermon 2 weeks ago, I said that the main reason that people start visiting a religious congregation like this one is a longing for community and hope for a sense of belonging. In a meeting with me last week, one of our members wanted to add that many people also come here because of the search for meaning in life. This resonates with my experience. Indeed, I think a spiritual and ethical community is a place where we can find meaning and put it into practice, a community like this one. Moreover, our congregation is part of the larger community of Unitarian Universalism. Over 1,000 congregations in this country join together as an association to support a free and responsible search for meaning. Last month, our denomination concluded a 3-year process of reviewing how we describe ourselves as a religious movement. After many discussions, listening sessions, draft proposals, debates, and voting, we approved an update of Article 2 of the bylaws of the Unitarian Universalist Association. Delegates from all congregations, including this one, approved this change by a vote of 80% to 20%. Not unanimous, but well above the 2/3 threshold required. It's my impression that some of the people who voted no voted that way because they felt a lasting devotion to the UU principles and the list of our spiritual sources, most of which have been in the bylaws since 1985. Some of us voted yes for the recent changes, even though we are also fond of the principles and sources from 1985. Over the decades, first-time visitors to UU congregations found them appealing and kept coming back. Members adopted them as guides for action and reason and prompts for reflection. 2 generations of UU children have grown up learning the principles in story, song, art, and acts of service. Just when we were about to change them, I finally had memorized which of the 7 principles had which number. I knew most of the list of sources too. I do like them, but I voted for the change. Not to worry, the principles will remain available for all who treasure them on websites and in our hymnals, for example. We have not erased them from existence, nor have we abandoned the values that were enumerated in the principles. Our foundational values continue, but in updated forms and words. The newly adopted document is worth reading, but I won't do that now. It's too long. But I will note that Article 2 honors our heritage of reason, freedom, courage, and hope. It continues to affirm human dignity, human interdependence, and our part within the web of life. One remarkable addition to it, however, is a graphic representation of the 5 core values of UUism. May I have the slide? This is actually in the document that is the bylaws. This is a flower design with each flower petal representing a value. They are justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. As a guiding value, each one of them bears exploring and celebrating. We've had sermons from this pulpit about a number of these individual values, and we'll have more. Though there are new words and phrasings to describe our values have endured. In the recent revisions, our UU values have enlarged their embrace. By the way, this particular graphic was designed by Tanya Webster, who is a member of the UU Fellowship of Redwood City, California. In the middle of the flower, we can see the most notable addition to the UUA bylaws. Article 2 places love at the center of our faith tradition. The word love is printed over a flaming chalice. A few years ago, when the board of the UUA appointed the Article 2 Commission, it gave them freedom to come up with any words and format which their process might lead to. However, the board charged them to make it clear that love is at the center of Unitarian Universalism. You can remove this slide now. In other words, love is what motivates our affirmation of all the other values. Love inspires our compassion. It underlies respect for diverse identities and religious perspectives. Love energizes our actions for peace, freedom, social justice, and equity. When we feel discouraged or hurt, love can keep us going. At the center is love with a capital L. It was a surprise for me to realize that the 1985 UUA principles had not made that explicit. The principles, all 7, did not include the word love. However, it's worth noting where love did appear in the bylaws. It was in the list of spiritual sources for our tradition. And number 4 on that list of spiritual sources reads, Jewish and Christian teachings which call us to respond to God's love by loving our neighbors as ourselves. That source reflects the historical origins of Universalism and Unitarianism centuries ago on the left wing of the Protestant Reformation. To be sure, both of our ancestral movements were born of heresy. Yet for all their unconventional radical beliefs, those early heretics kept a fidelity to the spirit of love. They kept an ethic of care and compassion. We often think of love as a feeling, and sometimes it is. Yet love can also be an attitude, an approach, an activity. Love is an ethic on which we can base our choices. It can be a source of meaning for us because it is a standard by which to hold ourselves accountable. The ethic of love is made evident in a short poem of Edwin Markham, who was a Universalist from California. Published in 1913, it is entitled Outwitted. He drew a circle that shut me out, heretic, rebel, a thing to flout. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that took him in. Born in 1852, Markham was a teacher in the counties of El Dorado, Solano, and Alameda. There are 6 public schools named after him in California and another 5 in other states. He is known for his longer poems, which explore themes of injustice and which call for social reform. The spirit of love is reflected in his life as a teacher and as an activist. It is the turning point of the poem, Outwitted. Once more, he drew a circle that shut me out, heretic, rebel, a thing to flout. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that took him in. In the New Testament, Jesus of Nazareth charges his disciples to love their enemies. This kind of love doesn't feel easy or appealing. For his followers, it must have brought up all kinds of questions and many hesitations, like, he can't really mean that, can he? Or, what about... But wait. In the Gospel of Luke, in the passage leading up to the famous parable of the Good Samaritan, a lawyer asks Jesus, how he could inherit eternal life. Jesus asks him to explain what the Jewish law has to say. He recites the words, "You shall love your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength, and all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." From this quotation comes the question, who is my neighbor? And this question rings through the ages. It continues to challenge us, continues to ask us how we act and speak toward others. And who is our neighbor? This is the ethic of love. It's not a feeling, it's a challenge. Unfortunately, showing love to strangers, enemies, or neighbors has remained an exception rather than a regular practice over the centuries of human history. Perhaps this is why the value needs to be explicit. In our shared faith as Unitarian Universalists, when we work for equity and justice, when we practice respect for our common humanity, it may not feel easy or nice, but it's what our values point us towards. If it were easy, we would not need to remind ourselves that love is at the center of our values. The 4th of July, Independence Day, came this year during a week of bad news for many people who care about representative democracy and equality under the law. A Supreme Court ruling has provided an opening for the former president to avoid punishment for his attempts to overturn election results in 2020. Now he arguably can defend his actions as part of his official duties rather than as a violation of his oath of office. It's outrageous. On television recently, an unsteady debate performance by the current president has raised fears that the former president might get elected in November, allowing him and his followers to take over the government in an aggressive spirit of revenge, attacking the civil service and attacking our democratic system of checks and balances. All of this is confusing and worrisome. It's heartbreaking. I don't have any words to say to make it go away. I do have some ideas of things that I'm trying to do for myself. In addition to thinking about other ways to be involved in protecting democracy, I continue to make monetary contributions to various campaigns. And I want to stay informed. But as an act of self-care, I limit how much agitation I expose myself to. I don't need the loud, harsh voices on radio, television, and online who are misrepresenting alternative perspectives or demeaning other people. In this and other ways, I take care of myself spiritually and physically. I want to be as rested and as strong as I can be in order to embody my values. I want to be strong especially in confronting the forces of untruth, hatred, and violence. Also, it helps me to remind myself why I care enough in the first place about what's happening. I think and I hope that the motivation is love. And I believe that I share this motivation with many of you, with many other Unitarian Universalists. What I mean is that we care about democracy and freedom because we care about people and we want them to be free and safe. We want everyone to flourish because this is what love calls for. We work toward this vision. We support those who help to make it happen. We recognize that we all depend on one another to improve our country and improve our communities. We act and speak for the common good because the common good includes all of us. Acting on this kind of love could look like a lot of things. It might look like tending a community garden or doing military service. It might be feeding hungry people or making nonviolent protests against injustice and for human rights. It might be teaching or caring for children or mobilizing citizens to vote locally or vote in other states. In some people that we know, the ethic of love looks like doing all these things together in the same lifetime. If we treasure life and appreciate its gifts, then compassion and love cause us to help others to seek and achieve the blessings of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To be sure, we have no certainty about the outcome of our efforts. We have no guarantees about the results of putting love at the center of our actions. We never did have guarantees. However, I think that we can take heart in being clear about what motivates our concern and inspires our actions. We can be sustained by knowing that we belong to others who share our values and commitments. We can be clear about who we are and what we care about. And that can help us understand ourselves and accept ourselves and one another. It's worth it to keep love at the center of our values. When I think about what love looks like in ordinary life, day-to-day life, here are some things that come to mind: generosity, showing respect, practicing patience, deep listening to another person. Love can look like letting go of the urge to judge, condemn, or dismiss others. It can look like letting go of our impulse to fix someone else's life. When reactivity or defensiveness rises up in us, love nudges us toward mindfulness and curiosity. When we recognize love as the basis of our actions, we not only care about the world, but we also respect ourselves. We treat ourselves and our neighbors with compassion. And this makes me think of the reading that we heard. 14 years ago, Chris Moore started offering free haircuts and shaves to other inmates at San Quentin State Prison. By trial and error, he became an amateur barber. For the first time, it was to help a young man look respectable for his court appearance. As Moore puts it, he violated the prison rule of mind your own business. It was the spirit of love that called him to do this. It was an ethic of compassion, dignity, and generosity. Chris Moore writes that he has come to regret the harm that he caused to other people earlier in his life. He has come to appreciate the shared humanity of those he hurt. And by offering free haircuts to other prisoners, he has come to respect himself as part of that shared humanity. He now sees himself as capable of compassion and generosity and respect for others. This is the lesson of his story for me. When we notice that we're making the choice to follow our core values, we can appreciate that choice. Every day we can celebrate the fact that we have the ability and the freedom to choose to live by an ethic of love. In the days ahead, I have an assignment for you, a suggestion at least. Every day, notice when you have acted or spoken as an expression of your UU values. Notice when it happens. Did you demonstrate respect and kindness? Maybe you showed patience. Maybe you affirmed another's dignity. Catch yourself doing this. Catch yourself choosing to put the ethic of love into your day. What did you do to promote social equity and inclusion? Reflect on this at the end of the day. How does interdependence or compassion or generosity show up in your day? Notice when you embody your Unitarian Universalist values. And when you do, celebrate yourself and celebrate our values and our shared faith. Give thanks for the freedom to choose to live by an ethic of love. So may it be for you and for all of us. So may it be. Blessed be, and amen.
Let's celebrate our shared values by rising in body or spirit to sing hymn number 126, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. Come thou fount of every blessing, tune our hearts to sing thy grace, streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise, while the hope of life's perfection fills our hearts with joy and love. Teach us ever to be faithful, may we still thy goodness prove. Come thou fount of every vision, lift our hearts to what may come. See the lion and the young lamb dwell together in thy home. Hear the cries of life all silent, feel our love glow like the sun. When we all serve one another, then our heaven is begun. Come thou fount of inspiration, turn our lives to higher ways. Lift our gloom and desperation, show the promise of this day. Help us bind ourselves to union, help our hands tell of our love. With thine aid, O fount of justice, earth be fair as heaven above.
As we prepare to extinguish the chalice, please join in our words of shared intention. We extinguish this flame, but we carry the light, love, and commitment of this gathering into the days to come.
I invite you to reach out to us as we reach out to you. If you're at home, reach out to us as we reach out to you. May you depart in peace and be led forth in joy. For all who see God, may God go with you. For all who embrace life, may life return your affection. And for all who seek a right path, may a way be found and the courage to take it step by step, one day at a time. Blessed be.